What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish. I know you guys might be getting tired of me saying that this sneaker is special, and I've been looking forward to this sneaker, and this is one of the most highly anticipated sneakers, but today, we're taking a look at one of my favorite sneakers of 2022, one of the most highly anticipated sneakers of 2022. This time, we are back with the Whitaker Group. We got a new collaboration with Nike and Social Status this time. We're not under the I'm a Meunier banner, we're under the Social Status banner, and this sneaker tells an incredible story about an incredible player. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Nike Air Max Penny by Social Status Recess. That name in itself lets you know that there's a lot going on with this sneaker. First impressions of the sneaker, classic, iconic, all of the things. But today we're also talking about the legend of Penny Hardaway. Who was he as a player? Because a lot of you guys may not even be that familiar with who Anthony Hardaway really was. So I want to take a little bit of time to actually introduce you guys to Penny Hardaway. Then that's going to take us into the sneaker. We're going to look at the packaging. We're going to look at the sneaker itself. And then we're going to dig a little bit into what I did like about this shoe and what I didn't like about the shoe. Something that I never really thought that I would be saying. So sit back and relax for this one, guys. We got some cool stuff to talk about. Anthony Dion Hardaway, born July 18th, 1971. Developed the name Penny from actually his grandmother that, because of her southern drawl and her voice, used to call him Pretty, but it came out sounding like Penny. So it ended up just being Penny as his nickname. Penny ended up going to college right in his hometown, Memphis State University, what is now known as the University of Memphis. The only thing about going to college was that academics weren't the first thing on Penny's mind. He kind of struggled with his grades a bit. As a matter of fact, he had to get into the school on a waiver, an academic exemption from the university president, and had to take the ACT 3 times and still didn't meet the minimum 17 and a half needed to get into the school. Now that all changed when he started getting his life together. As he was sitting out, he actually was shot by a stray bullet and messed his foot up that actually could have jeopardized his career. From that moment on, Penny decided he was going to get himself together, he was going to get his life together, and that's exactly what he did. In 1992, he joined the USA Developmental Basketball League, where he was playing against other players from the 1992 Olympic team, people like Chris Webber. Stick a pin in that name. Penny came back and ended up doing very well. So well, as a matter of fact, that after his second year at Memphis, he decided to declare for the 1993 NBA draft. Penny would end up being drafted 3rd overall in the first round, but according to Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq was already eyeing Penny at the time and wanted to play with him so much that he pretty much demanded that they put Penny on the team. So in a big trade, they ended up trading Chris Webber. Remember I said, remember that name. They ended up trading Chris Webber for Penny. Chris went to the Warriors and Penny came down to play for the Magic. Penny was a sensational prospect. Penny was 6 feet 8 inches tall, but still had vertical leap. He had hops. He could play virtually 5 different positions. A lot of people were saying that he was the next Magic Johnson because of how well he could play the combo guard. The boy was bad. Now, when you're a hotshot prospect like that, it's only right that you're going to start getting courted by different sneaker brands like Nike, especially when you have other people like Shaquille O'Neal dominating through Reebok. Nike is looking for somebody to kind of fill that gap that Michael Jordan kind of left. Remember, this is 1993, right when Michael Jordan retired for the first time. So while Michael Jordan is off playing minor league baseball, here comes this hotshot rookie, Penny Hardaway, that's literally killing it in everything that he's doing, killing it so much that in his second year, he leads his team to the NBA Finals. Oh, by the way, in that 1994-1995 season when the Magic ended up going to the finals, they had to get to the finals by going through the Chicago Bulls, who just had gotten back. Michael Jordan at the time was playing the 4-5, if you guys remember that infamous story of Michael Jordan actually playing in the first unofficial Penny Hardaway shoe, the Air Flight 1. Now I say an unofficial sneaker because even though it wasn't an official signature shoe like an Air Max Penny, it did have his emblem on the back of the Air Flight 1, and Michael Jordan infamously removed that when his sneakers were stolen during the time that Michael wore it at the beginning of that Game 2 in that series. There's a lot of legend behind that series and the fact that Penny called it the ultimate sign of respect that Michael Jordan actually chose to wear his shoe, something that Michael Jordan did not do, wearing a sneaker that was not his own. But again, as it goes, Michael Jordan had to take off the Concord 11, too much white in the shoe. They needed a black shoe. He didn't have his Space Jams yet, so he wore the Air Flight 1. If you remember, that was also the time that Nick Anderson said that 45 is not 23, so Michael Jordan came back in the 23 jersey, dropped 40 on him, and showed them what time it was, even though the Bulls still lost that series. But I digress. Unfortunately, the Magic didn't win the finals that year, and they would go back to the finals another time and lose the finals again. To this day, unfortunately, Penny ended up never getting a ring, which he's actually actually on everybody's list of top players that should have gotten a ring, that we wish got a championship, but unfortunately never got one. Penny's first half of his career was incredible. The second half of his career, he started experiencing a lot of injuries. He started having to get surgeries. He got traded around to a bunch of different teams, Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns. And unfortunately, when he retired in 2008, he really had fallen from grace from where he used to be back in the day. But during his heyday, that's when we saw the debut of the Nike Air Max Penny 1 in 1995. This sneaker was an incredible shoe to drop at an incredible time in Penny's career. He was pretty much at the top of his game, and this sneaker just exudes 90s basketball at the time. If you guys missed out on 1990s basketball sneakers and 1990s Nike marketing campaigns around these basketball sneakers, you missed out on a time. Thank goodness we have YouTube these days where you can look at all those old commercials and all those old spots that highlighted these classic 1990s basketball silhouettes. Now, not only did we see the Penny 1 come out and it exploded in popularity, but we would also get a lot of different Penny models after that, all the way down, I believe, to the Penny 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Penny 5 and the Penny 6, I think, were some of the last ones. And then we got the Zoom Flight Rookie, which was another kind of hybrid of the Foamposite and a couple of other sneakers as well. We also saw the Foamposite coming out, which ended up being Penny's shoe as well, with the 1 cent on the back of it. But as we all know, it wasn't originally intended for Penny, but Penny saw the sneaker, Scottie Pippen passed on the sneaker and said, I want to play in that shoe, despite the fact that it was $180 at the time. Very expensive, but still one of the most popular sneakers in basketball history. Let me not talk too much about it. Listen, this sneaker was special. And when we got the Penny, we also got introduced to Little Penny. One of, in my opinion, Nike's best marketing campaigns that they've ever done for anybody. Even Michael Jordan never got an alter ego. And then the alter ego, who wasn't even a person, got 2 sneakers of their own. Penny was special. They bet the farm on Penny, and it paid off in spades, because even now, if you ask any OG, when we got news that the Penny was coming back in 2022, everybody got excited about it. The Penny 1 was different. You had Zoom Air and you had Air Max technology in the sneaker. It was comfortable. It had just enough performance technology in it that it really did what it needed to do on the court. This sneaker was a marvel of its time, and Penny did some incredible things in the silhouette. It's a classic. So in 2022, we've seen now the emergence of the OG Orlando colorway, but then Social Status, James Whitner and the Whitaker Group stepped in with a special collaboration on the Air Max Penny 1 as well. This time, continuing the story that we were introduced to with the free lunch dunk. If you guys remember the visuals from the free lunch dunk, we were introduced to James. He was a really precocious kid, very ambitious kid, really well-rounded kid who enjoyed the beauty within his struggle of growing up in the projects. Now, it was the summertime, and so we were talking about the free lunch program. We talked about that when we took a look at the free lunch dunks, the chocolate milk and the strawberry milk. Still one of my favorite dunk projects done to date. They bodied everything about that project. Check that video out if you haven't. So now the school year has begun. James is now back at school and he's playing basketball, doing pretty well, but he's also got a little bit of a love interest as well, a woman named Deanna, but he also has a little bit of an enemy as well, a rival basketball player that wants to challenge him on the court. So in the visuals where we get left off with a to be continued is that James and this other guy is about to go out to the court, and we're gonna see what's going on when they go and hit the court and they play basketball at recess. And that's where we start off with the box of the shoe. Now, of course, as you guys can see, this pays homage to chalkboards and schools. Everything having to do with school supplies and being in school and getting ready to go to recess, that starts with the packaging. You guys can see here on the overlay of the box here, all around the box as well, you have what's called a pangram. Now, a pangram is a sentence that uses every letter of the alphabet in the sentence. This sentence, of course, being the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. It's a very popular sentence that they use to teach reading to kids, to teach writing to kids, and things like that. So of course you see the chalkboard print all over the box here. Underneath that, Social Status and Nike co-branded logo. Very, very dope. When you flip the lid open, the first thing that you're going to see here is the special custom paper here, looking like notebook paper. Again, we're back in school, so everything having to do with that notebook paper with that Social Status logo inside of it as well. But that's not
all.
When you take the paper out at the bottom of the box, similar to the free lunch dunk, where we also got the little lunch tray in the bottom of the box here, in the floor of the box here, we actually get what looks like the outside of a notebook. You guys remember those black and white notebooks, those cheap notebooks? Well, right here, you see that same type of thing. Nike in collaboration with Social Status, Air Penny 1, 2021 here. I mean, the packaging, once again, knocked the entire packaging completely out of the park. Let's get into the shoe. All right, starting with the shoe here, classic Air Max Penny 1 design here. Very nice nubuck on the upper of the shoe. Love the design of this silhouette. Very, very nice. You have the white molded mudguard here, but let's talk about the swoosh. Let's get right to it. If you guys notice the swoosh here, white swoosh, but it's got some stitches in it. Looks like a baseball. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Again, we're talking about recess. And so the cool thing about the swoosh is that the swoosh actually comes off. Now, what's even more dope is that underneath that, it reveals the original swoosh, what it looks like, the gel swoosh on the classic Orlando Air Max Pennies, that kind of cracked looking swoosh up underneath it. Normally it would be gelled up, but this time, of course, it's underneath this Velcro lining. That's because you're going to get 4 additional swooshes in addition to that swoosh that looks like a baseball that you can interchange. What's the point? Well, again, we're talking about recess. And when you go out to recess, what do your teachers put out there at recess? They put out that big netted bag full of all those different balls that you can use to play all the different sports that you want to play. That includes volleyball for the yellow. There's a basketball swoosh. There's a tennis ball swoosh, a dodgeball swoosh in here, and then of course the baseball swoosh. So all the different balls that you would normally use to play games at recess are incorporated into the interchangeable swooshes on the classic Air Max Penny. But that's not all. 5 different sets of laces that actually coincide with the swooshes on the shoe as well. So there's a set of laces that actually matches with each one of these interchangeable swooshes. There's so many laces that they have to give them to you in the box like this. They didn't even attach it to the shoe because it's so many laces. So literally any ball that you want to make this sneaker look like that you would use to play with at recess, you can recreate that look with the interchangeable swooshes and the matching laces. I love the options that we get with this sneaker, but let's get back to the shoe. Taking a top-down look at the shoe here, classic Air Max Penny 1 silhouette here. But what's interesting is that you have a bit of a lace pull here to tighten up the lacing system. I don't remember if that's on the OGs themselves, but they did incorporate that with the Social Status version, which is interesting. Another thing that's interesting is that right above the Penny logo here, there's a pull on the tongue here that looks like a chain link. Now, as far as I know, this chain link has to do with the chain link fence that may be around the school or around the playground when you're outside playing at recess. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, you also get another heel pull back here with that same chain link detail. Right underneath that, you also get the co-branded Social Status and Nike emblem instead of the classic 1 cent logo that we would see on the back. On the outsole of the shoe, classic Air Max Penny 1 outsole, but if you see underneath that semi-translucent outsole here, there's actually a drawing of a playground. You can actually see a little hopscotch there and little chalk outlines that literally look like the playground at recess. And on the insole of the shoe here, you have that same pangram. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog with the co-branded Social Status and Nike logo on the heel. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Nike Air Max Penny 1 Social Status recess. Now, here's the thing about this shoe. Again, like I said, they knocked this sneaker completely out of the park, bodied the packaging, bodied the sneaker. I love the way that they wove the story of Social Status and this continuing story with the free lunch dunk into the Air Max Penny, which is literally a sneaker back in 1995 you would see on the blacktop. You would see this sneaker at recess. This sneaker was all over the place. So the fact that they took an iconic sneaker from 1995, mixed it with incredible visuals that had to do with back in the day, and brought it all together to celebrate this iconic basketball player just works so well. Not only that, but Social Status also announced the donation program to donate one of these sneakers. So if you guys aren't hip to it yet, they just announced that you can go on the website and purchase a sneaker to be donated, or if you buy 2 pairs of the pennies, both in this colorway or in the other colorway, which is the Desert Sand colorway, they will donate 1 pair to a place of your choice, or they will pick the place on their own depending on where you say to put it. So hats off to the Whitaker Group and hats off to James Whitner for doing something incredible for the community and for the less fortunate. With that being said, I do have one gripe about this sneaker that I never thought that I would say about the Whitaker Group, about James Whitner, about Social Status. They got my order wrong. This is the wrong color. This is not what I ordered. The Orlando colorway of the Penny is an iconic colorway, but I actually ordered the Desert Sand colorway. Apparently, there was some issues with logistics and shipping for this sneaker where everybody that for whatever reason got a size 9, especially people that got a size 9 like myself, got their orders mixed up, and a lot of people got sent the wrong color. So it is a little bit of a black mark on the reputation of the company right now because a ton of us ended up getting the wrong color shoe. With that being said, these are probably gonna be out the door so I can trade them out, maybe on Trade Block, something like that, so I can actually get the sneaker that I really ordered. That'd be nice. Again, classic colorway, but this ain't what I ordered. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it really is an incredible and iconic sneaker. I can't say enough about Penny Hardaway. Such a shame that Penny never got a championship. I really hope that we see him in the Hall of Fame one of these days. I really, really do. But I know even that is up for debate as well. Nevertheless, they came through and delivered one more time from James Whitner and from the people over at Social Status. They did it again. Not only that, but we've also seen that there's a Penny 2 coming out. And not only that, but James Whitner is also working on so many other projects. And I had the distinct honor of actually being able to interview James Whitner for Nice Kicks lately to discuss this project shortly before it came out. So if you haven't checked out that Q&A yet, first of all, thank you for the time, Mr. Whitner. And second of all, I will link the article down below to the Nice Kicks article so you guys can check that out. But that is pretty much all that I got to say about these. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Air Max Penny 1. Were you Penny Hardaway fans back in the day? Were you not? Were these on your must-cop list? Did you pass on these? Why? Why not? All the good stuff. Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Nike Air Max Penny 1 by Social Status for the Recess collection. And until next time, I'm out.